What is up, fight fans? You are locked into the Silly Gilly Goose MMA show. We got a great episode here for you today. We're going to be getting into the UFC London card, and we're going to be previewing next week's card on Fight Night Seattle, Adesanya versus Pfeiffer. We don't have Mason today, but we do have Noah back. Noah, how you doing? We missed you, or I missed you.
I'm glad to be back. I'm upset that I missed last week. I was really hoping to talk about the London card, but it's all right. We'll be able to recap it and get into Seattle next week. What a
Absolutely.
crazy weekend, though, dude.
Crazy weekend. For those of you that don't know, we three punch convo. Noah, you want to tell them about this? The three punch convo.
Three Punch Convo's a MMA forum, but they have fight picks every single week, and they host a contest for $1,000 for anybody who can get all fights right for the card. And last night we were the first people in Three Punch Combo history to hit all 13 fights in a row. Let's
All
go.
15 boys. Yeah, the boys were the first ever in three punch convo history to do it. Got our $1,000 payment right away. It was awesome. Russ is the man. Shout out to Russ. Let's dive into this card from last night. Started off with a banger. Chanel
Mm-hmm.
Dyer, Venya Oliveira. Noah, what were you thinking about this fight? What you got?
Chanel Dyer, UFC debut in her hometown. She looks freaking great. Uh, Quick dub. Got it done in round 2, right? And
Yeah.
she really put it on Oliveira and had a real nice KO debut win. What's your thoughts on that one, Connor?
Yeah, I forgot to mention Melissa Mullins and Luana Caroline. That got canceled on the scales. Luana Caroline,
8-pound overweight.
8 pounds. Oh, robbing Melissa Mullins of fighting on her home turf, which was really, really, really heartbreaking to see her on the scale crying like that. That was brutal.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So Chanel Dyer, and said we got this as our first fight of the night, and it started off with a bang. Chanel Dyer looked great in her UFC debut. Oliveira still unproven.
Mm-hmm.
Dyer was like neg 500 favorite. You know, it was pretty much
We kind of
expected.
figured what was going to happen, but
Yeah,
she stamped
but
herself. She made it. She
that
proved that she was a 500 favorite for a reason.
yeah, that front kick was nasty. That was
Toes right on the chin.
brutal. Then after that, we had Shamrock versus Abdul Karim Al Sawadi. Boy, Noah, what were your thoughts on this one?
I mean, Shamrock looked good to start the first round a little bit, and then it kind of was all mostly Al-Baghdadi,
Al,
but but it was like Shamrock, two lackluster performances to start his career in the UFC. He needs to bounce back big in his next fight, where he probably won't be here long. And the extracurricular after the fight, you slap the dude in the face. I mean, I know it looked
yeah,
like he was talking back to him a little bit, but no reason to slap the dude in the face, and no reason for him to punch him back either.
no, yeah, no need to even like approach the guy, like dap him up, but if he's not dapping you up, just walk away. But yeah, 30-27, all three cards. Abdul Karim Al Sawadi, terrific performance. Shamrock, both his losses are 30-27s now in the UFC. We really thought we'd see the submission game from Shamrock. I don't know, he
Yeah,
was shooting in the first 2 rounds for some reason, and then 1 of 6 on takedowns. I don't know, nine career submissions in the first round, and we haven't seen any
yeah, no his submission. Yeah, we
anything.
haven't seen much of a submission game yet. He hasn't
No,
really got the chance to at all.
no, really disappointing. And people are saying he's shades of Patchy Mix, and I kind of starting to see it, man. Kind of starting to see it a little bit after that fight last night. But then after that, we had a heavyweight bout between Louis Sutherland and Brando Pericic, and this one was a lot of fun while it went. Noah, what'd you think of this one?
Brando Perisic can make some noise at heavyweight. I feel like. I feel like we needed like a good heavyweight prospect, and I think Brando Perisic, like he came in there, he looked pretty good on his feet, and I feel like he could definitely start working his name up, maybe to a low ranked fighter at heavyweight soon. But yeah, I'm excited to see where he can go. That was a nice knockout win. Louis Sutherland uh, not hasn't looked really great in his UFC start. 0-2 to start as well. Walter Walker sub and a KO last night, round one. I mean, what he's been in there for like less than 3-4 minutes.
Yeah, not a good start to his UFC career. 10-5 record now. Brandon Preach's moving to 6-1 in his short MMA career. Interesting post fight from Brandon Preach saying if he got the bonus that he would be giving it to a random follower. Interesting. Uh, Great marketing tactic. Probably got a lot of followers from it. Genius move.
Yeah,
But yeah, he looks.
I mean, I followed him instantly on my Instagram. We already had him followed on Silly Goose Goose, but I followed
Shout
him
out.
instantly after him saying that.
Yeah, and obviously we got all these picks right. So every fight you're about to hear, we picked it correctly. So don't even doubt us. And then everyone was just trying to get those takedowns, man. He had one game plan in mind, and that was just trying to get Brando down. And Brando showed pretty good takedown defense, I thought. And
Hmm.
even when he did get him down, he got up pretty fast. And yeah, I got that nice brutal knockout that we love to see. Then after that, we had a middleweight bout between Montez Condratavicius and Antonio Tricoli. Montez 30-27, 29-27, and 29-27 unanimous decision win. Noah, what were your thoughts on this one?
I think it was the start of two back-to-back boring fights. I mean, Montas looked. He has some good like powerful strikes, and he when he was landing them, but he kept on getting into like the clinch, and it was real boring inside the clinch. There wasn't really much thrown from it, and I don't know. He's still young. I like to see what he does his next fight, but I think he definitely has some power in his hands. He's definitely gonna put some people out, but just gotta work a little bit and work on his cardio because he definitely showed that he was gassed going into like that late second, third round.
Yeah, incredible debut from the Dana White Contender Series graduate. Yeah, his first time ever seeing a third round in his pro career.
Yep,
So it definitely showed too.
showed that he.
Wow. And yeah, Tricoli, his last two fights been silly gillied, so his cardio's not really up there either. So yeah, that fight was brutal. I mean, yeah, we don't got to keep talking about it. If you saw it, you saw it. If you didn't, you don't need to see it. After that, we had another heavyweight bout. This time between Mario Pinto and short notice fighter Felipe Franco stepping in for ranked fighter Mick Parkin on short notice. Former Dana White Contender Series loser. So technically he's a graduate now because he did make it to the UFC. But no, what do you think of this hug fest?
Man, I thought this was a big spot for Mario Pinto to come out there and get like a dominant win and like look really good, get a fast finish. That's what I
Yeah,
thought was going to happen, and I mean, I think with a big win there, like a big fast win there, he could have pushed for his name right in the rankings. I mean, he was going to get a fight with Mick Park, and I felt like that was a really exciting fight when I saw that it got announced. I was excited to see because Mick Parkin's undefeated or has one loss on his record. Mario Pinto undefeated. I mean, but yeah, Mario Pinto just looked for the takedown, kind of looked for the hugs the whole entire fight. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I was really really high on him, but maybe he had an injury or something because he really wasn't looking for any way to put him away.
Yeah, in injury, he had like a 50 or 40 pound advantage on this 30 pound advantage on the scales, I think, is what the difference was between them. And yeah, 2 for 14 on takedowns. Felipe Franco fought a great fight, I thought, for
Yeah,
short
for a
notice.
short notice fight, definitely. And then it
Yeah,
was against an undefeated guy
yeah, and all
that
10 of
has
his
looked good. He's got good wins. Mario Pinto's
yeah.
got pretty good wins. I felt for sure he was gonna get a fast KO or sub there.
Yeah, I thought so too. I mean, he was landing some nice strikes, and then when he started to land some nice strikes, he would just go to the clinch. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Felipe Franco landed some good shots of his own, got some great takedown defense, and but no, we've seen this with Mario Pinto. He lost that first round to Austin Lane, and Austin Lane
Yeah.
was kind of running on, and he kind of just got lucky. caught him. And we saw him just wrestle Denise in his other UFC fight. 7.5 minutes of control time on Denise, and then eventually the KO. So I mean, this is Mario Pinto, unfortunately, and it's kind of disappointing that another heavyweight prospect didn't pan out. But hey, he could have just been hurt. And I'd love to see the Mick Parkin fight again if they can rebook that
Yeah,
soon.
they should try to rebook that.
Definitely, definitely. Our next fight of the night, we had Nathaniel Wood get the split decision 29-28 win on two judges' scorecards versus Lucene Kita making his UFC debut. And honk, honk, baby. Connor, me, I hit my first golden goose of the year. Nathaniel Wood didn't let us down, got the W, looked great. Noah, what were your thoughts?
Big win for Nathaniel Wood coming in there as a 2-1 underdog in England from his home. Like he's from England. Uh, I thought that this fight was going to be like a war. Like they were going to just go right at each other the whole entire time. It was kind of a lot more feeling out than I thought it would be. And I
Yeah.
thought that Nathaniel Wood was going to use his grappling advantage over Kita, but did he even have one takedown attempt? I don't
No.
think so.
Yeah, it says he has one takedown attempt.
But I thought I thought it was a close fight. I mean, like another fight you don't want to score if you're the judges. I thought that Nathaniel Wood definitely pulled it out, just being in England. But
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, not a bad debut from Lucien Kita. I mean,
No,
Nathaniel Wood's on a huge winning streak. But
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I mean, good fight for both of them. I don't think anyone's stock really went down in the fight, and I want to see. I would like to see both of them get like a nice big fight their next fight.
Yeah,
Nathaniel would maybe get a ranked opponent because I mean he beat Lacine Kita, Jose Delgado the last two fights. I mean he's right there.
yeah, yeah, 4-fight win streak now. Yeah, he's looking great. Morgan Charriere as well. And so I mean, yeah, Lucien Kita. I mean, Nathaniel Wood being the big underdog that he was really surprising to me. These new guys that come over from the big or the other promotions are a little overhyped, and their lines get a little inflated.
Yeah,
And you know, he was a great fighter. You could just see that the
so
spotlight
quick, man.
a little too big for him.
He's he's
And
so quick though.
yeah, that first round, man, he was just like a deer in the headlights. He was a little hesitant. Nathaniel Wood was working that jab real good, keeping him away.
Yes.
And Nathaniel Wood, honestly, to me, like he was just kind of stationary. Like I felt like Lakita had a great opportunity to land a lot of great shots, and he never really
Yeah.
took chances. And but yeah, shout out to Nathaniel Wood. I personally had Kita winning this fight on Threads, but
Hmm.
I'm really happy Nathaniel Wood won that fight. I won a lot of money.
Yeah, we needed him. We
Yeah,
needed him.
yeah, we had him on that 3-punch combo, so that was
Yeah.
a scary. That was a scary one too. We were sweating that for sure. And then getting into our next fight, which was the fight of the night, a 155 bout between Mason Jones and Axel Sola. Mason Jones getting it done by unanimous decision, 30-27 and 29-28, 29-28. Noah, what were your thoughts on this war?
Mason Jones is in my top 10 favorite fighters now. What a
Oh yeah,
freaking war. He's so and both guys look good though. Sola, undefeated guy coming into the fight, but Mason Jones, I mean, those knees to end the fight, that's all I can think about. He threw like 20 knees to the head. I thought he was
yeah,
if he had a few more seconds the ref was going to have to stop it, but
dude.
big win for Mason Jones.
That was incredible. Yeah, that was one of the that's up there. Yeah, Mason Jones, Warrior, love him. Definitely top 10 favorite fighter now. That was awesome. Shout out Axel Sola as well for being able to withstand that beating and even winning a round and controversy. There were a lot of people that thought he even won the fight too, the first two rounds at least. He hurt Mason Jones really, really bad in the first round.
Yeah.
Almost got the
That's
finish.
like that seems to be a theme inside Mason Jones' fight. He gets hurt early in the first round, and then he just starts picking it up second,
Yeah.
third round. Kind of reminds me of like Cheeto. Starts his fights like later into the fight. Starts going, picking it up more as the fight goes on. But
Yeah.
yeah, what a warrior! Gets hurt and just bounces right back.
Yeah, I was surprised, man. All of Axel Sola's KOs in his career in the second round, so that would have been his first career round one KO, and on a guy like Mason Jones too, that'd have been huge for his stock. But
Yeah,
shout out, to man, he should be getting another pretty big fight or another pretty like good opponent. I think at
yeah,
lightweight, a really good fight. Neither of their stocks went down. They're both gonna need a lot of time to recover. That was
bloodbath.
oh
They were both fucking
yeah,
covered in
that
blood.
cut on Axel's eye was disgusting.
Dude, it was like a quarter slot. You fit a quarter inside that thing.
They're fucking pull the slot down, and yeah, here we go, dude. Yeah, that was awesome. Fight of the night for sure. Knew it immediately as soon as we saw that was going to be fight of the night. Getting into the main card, our first fight on the main card, we had Dana White Contender Series graduate, UFC debut, the Pink Panther, Curtis Campbell, in from England, taking on Danny Silva. Noah, what were your thoughts on this one?
Did I not say what exactly was gonna happen in this fight right before it happened?
Noah
I
timed me right before this fight, and he said Danny Silva's going to overwhelm him and push him up against the cage, and he's just going to keep throwing punches until Curtis Campbell drops up against the cage. And
literally word for word, and that's exactly what happened. I mean, Curtis Campbell looked great in the first round. We've seen
oh yeah,
like on his highlight tape. I mean, he's looks really good, but he's got some sloppiness to his fighting. He needs to
uh,
slow down a little bit. I feel
yeah,
like
yeah,
but yeah, as soon as that first round ended, I was like, you could kind of tell Campbell had gassed himself a little bit, and Danny
yeah,
Silva was starting to find his rhythm with his strikes, and I mean exactly what I said. He's gonna push him up against the cage, get him hurt until Campbell drops, and the ref's gonna have to jump in.
yeah, yeah. Danny Silva going the distance with Kevin Vallejos, very impressive. Danny Silva's a dog.
Yeah, very
Absolutely.
high output striker.
Yeah, and he was, Curtis Campbell. He had him. He had his back. He had him. He was deep. He was looking for that rear naked choke. He couldn't quite get it there. Danny Silva was able to get out of it. Danny Silva looked great. Curtis Campbell definitely won the first round, and then it only took 30 seconds in round two for Danny Silva to get it done.
What's your
Uh,
thoughts on Campbell getting pink trunks in his first fight? Like only Sean's been able to wear those.
I think it's good for the UFC to be able to start. We got to start branding more guys. It helps build the sport, makes it more popular, especially in England where he's
Yeah, he's
pretty
from.
and they're in England. And like if they were in the United States, I'd be like, nah. But like if they're in your home country, I understand it. It's a pretty big debut.
I feel like those are Sugar shorts. Sugar should be the only one wearing pink. I saw like Charles Johnson was saying he's asked the UFC. I mean, he's a UFC vet, and he's been asking the UFC to wear pink or orange trunks, and they wouldn't let him.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, 'cause it's
And
just
Cat with his UFC debut was able to get to wear what he wants. I kind of just feel like
I
that's a little
wonder if they ever went to St. Louis for a card that Charles Johnson will be able to get custom shorts for sure.
maybe,
I
maybe.
bet I bet he'd be on that card for sure. And but
I mean, he
yeah,
was the last time they were in St. Louis.
so oh wow, okay, yeah. So you need to never mind then. Anyway, uh next fight on the main card, number 11 ranked Roman Dolidze taking on unranked Christian Leroy Duncan. Christian Leroy Duncan getting it done 29-28 on all three judges' scorecards. Noah, Roman Dolidze was your golden goose who you picked over Danny Silva. What do you
I
got here,
know
man?
it was a tough choice. I kind of wanted to go with the 3-1, get a little juicy odds. I should have went with Danny Silva. I kept going back and forth. I didn't know which one to pick, but I mean it was a close fight. I mean, Delija didn't look like a 3-1 underdog for sure in there, but
In the least he did.
yeah, the striking. I mean, Delija is just a weird grappler. Christian Leroy yeah, my goodness, I cannot even talk. Christian Leroy looks really freaking good, and his striking was on point. I mean, he deserved to get the win, I thought, but I was
Yeah.
really hoping that Roman was gonna pull it out.
Yeah, see those calf kicks from CLD were nasty.
Yeah,
Those were
Roman didn't want to stand with him at all.
no, those were filthy, filthy, filthy. And me and Mason talked about this on the pod last week. That's the biggest hole in CLD's game is his grappling. Even RoboCop didn't want to stand with CLD. 4 for 12 on takedowns, 8 minutes of control time on CLD. Deletes 7 minutes of control time on CLD. He had
Yeah,
the
he just
10,
needs to work on that grappling, man.
huh?
He just needs to work on that grappling. He could be a
Ah,
real problem at middleweight.
he could be holding the belt by the end of next year if he had a ground game easily.
Yeah.
His is such a great strike. Even Roman Dolidze didn't want to stand with him. Like that's a great proven like UFC vet. Like, and I don't know.
I
I
mean, I
that was
think he knew the advantage that he held against CLD on the ground. So I think that's the
yeah,
reason why he just wanted to stay there.
yeah. He
But
was just
that's what
dominating.
I thought. That's where I thought that Dolidze could definitely. Why I thought he would be like a good golden goose because of the grappling advantage.
Yeah, moments, man. He had that accidental spinning back fist there in the first round.
Yeah,
And he had, a minute 50 of control time in round one. Had CLD almost deep in a rear naked choke in round three, and he could have got away with winning round one and three, man. But no, this
yeah.
was
I
a
thought
Christian Leroy Duncan show. And then
our next fight
our next fight at light heavyweight, we had Iwo Baranowski taking on Austin Lane in his light heavyweight debut. Iwo Baranowski getting a 28-second knockout. Noah, what? Not much to talk about here, but Noah,
dude,
what do you?
my Paramount cut out for 20 seconds, and by the time I turned it back on, Austin Lane was flatlined on the was fighting to give up on the canvas, and I was like, "What happened?" Man, Evo, man, he's got so much power in his hands. He is he's a he's a problem. Light
That was
heavyweight's not the. I mean, it's a pretty open weight class towards the bottom of the ranks, but man, he's gonna get a big fight next. I think he could definitely get a ranked opponent next.
there's a lot of hype around him. Easily, I mean,
Uh,
incredible performances. Uh, what is that now? I think he has 2 minutes and 17 seconds of total fight time from
in
his
the
Dana
UFC.
series and his two UFC fights. That is
Yeah,
ridiculous.
like for his next fight, I know that he probably wants to. He wants to get there fast. I mean, he was only in there for 20 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know anything about him now. Like like this is tough. Like this is, do you give him someone ranked and pray that he's ready, or do you keep giving him some guys that he can keep building up his skills a little bit more?
I want to see how he is. I mean, we haven't even seen how he is on the ground or anything. I want to
That's
see
like
him versus a
don't
grappler. His next fight would be a interesting fight. I think
all we
they should do that.
know.
And then, I mean, if he starts his the grappler's next fight, you gotta give him someone ranked.
Yeah, I mean, two career wins by submission, both arm bars. So I mean, those were his first two career wins. So I
Yeah,
mean, only knockout artists. I mean, yeah, Austin Lane didn't land a single punch, nothing. That was bad.
first fight down at 205. I mean, I
Yeah,
thought that Austin Lane was. At first I was like, man, this could be an upset spot possibly. I don't.
yeah,
First time seeing Austin Lane down. He's very athletic. He was in the NFL.
yeah.
Uh,
Terrific
but
athlete.
yeah, I think Austin Lane's time may almost be done in the UFC.
I think so too.
Now,
I thought that size, he had like a 6.5 reach advantage. He was like 6 inches taller. I thought for sure he would be able to, stay on the outside, pick Ewo apart, maybe like he did, or maybe even wrestle like he did with Rebellis Despain.
yeah,
He had that unanimous decision win over
I mean, he looked good on what do you call it? The
against
fight with
Mario.
Mario Pinto too. I
Great in
mean, his
that.
striking looked good there too. I'm
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. It's tough. I mean, that's just a tough fight to give him too. That's a
yeah.
terrific opponent. But
Some
our
more Polish power at 205.
huh?
Some more Polish power at 205.
It doesn't stop. The Polish train is never leaving the station. Our next fight, we had a welterweight bout between Michael Venom Page and Sam Patterson. Noah, what do you got?
Really, they just felt each other out the whole fight. The former training partners, I just think they respected each other too much. Like they didn't want to hit each other. The MVP, we know he's very defensive. He waits for his opponents to come in and uses his opponent's strikes to set up his own strikes. And I mean, and Sam Patterson really wasn't stepping forward and throwing. He was doing the same thing MVP was, waiting for him to strike.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
just a waiting game the whole entire fight. I mean, MVP, I rightfully got the decision, I thought, but just a lackluster fight. I was excited. I thought that it was going to be. Oh, I thought there was going to be more action. I don't know. I should have known better.
yeah. This was a little disappointing. Former training partners. No, those fights never are never really that entertaining. Uh, I don't think any. I think there was like one punch thrown in the first like 3 minutes. Honestly, like I think like they were literally like I don't. I think MVP threw like one jab in the first 3 minutes, and I think that was like the only thing that was like it was so bad. This fight was so hard to watch, and like being such a big MVP fan, it was even harder to watch because like you just know his stock is going down. You know, like he's 38 years old or
Yeah,
39. You know he's not gonna like get a high ranked opponent now. Like
yeah. Another thing is like you get MVP. I mean, he was on a huge winning streak or a nice little winning streak there, like beating uh Jared Cannonier and
yeah,
Sharmagomedov at 185. You're thinking
yeah,
that MVP is going to get a big fight, and like we saw that he gets Sam Patterson. We kind of were like shocked a little bit that like, I mean, why are we booking this? So like I thought MVP is like they give you that fight, you got to go out there and like put on a show, like
exactly. Yeah, you gotta really make yourself.
because obviously someone's not happy with you in the
Yeah,
UFC if you're getting that fight.
and
So
it looks good now that he made them look good. Like it wasn't like, oh, why are you giving me this? Like now it's like, all right, we see why they gave you this fight. We understand now. Like nobody
yeah,
wants to pay to see that.
what do you think? I don't even think they could give him a big fight. His next fight. I mean, the
That's what I'm saying.
next
Yeah.
another he probably gets another unranked guy or a low ranked
I,
guy.
I got a good one. I was thinking about this during the.
I have a good one too.
Who's your?
What do
You
you
go.
got?
You go first.
I want to see that they were talking about it before the fight happening, but I'd like to see him versus Joel Alvarez.
Yep. That. Yep. Yes, sir. That's what I was gonna say
Is
too.
that
Yeah.
what you were gonna say?
Yeah.
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 I mean, we were hearing before the fight that that was a like that was that
Yeah.
they were talking in talks for the contract and
Yep.
about that fight happening, and it just fell through. But I really want to see Joel Alvarez back in there, man. He's so fun to watch,
Oh,
and like
fun.
that's a perfect fight for MVP because you know Joel Alvarez is gonna go forward and throw.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Joe Albert's not an aggressive grappler. He's a defensive grappler, and yeah, that would be a great striking match. I would love to watch that. Getting into our the co-main event of UFC London, we had a banger.
Oh,
Uh,
still 11-0 so far, right, Connor?
huh?
Still 11-0, right, so far?
Still late. We were sweating. We needed Luke Riley and Mobzar to finish us off. Luke Riley in the co-main event, getting it done 30-27 on all three judges' scorecards, but unanimous decision. Noah, what were your thoughts on Luke Riley's performance?
Both guys' performance. I think both guys' stocks went up. I thought Michael Aswell looked really good in there. I mean, Luke Riley. I thought he. I mean, I thought he definitely won the fight. But I mean, don't 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 look past Michael Aswell. He's definitely a guy to watch. I think Luke Riley is a super hot prospect. We're definitely going to see him in the rankings here soon. He's a young, 26-year-old fighter. I mean, but Michael Aswell, 25 years old, put up a great fight against Luke Riley, and I think both guys stock go up with this.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, Luke Riley's. He was getting a little pieced up there at the start of the fight. Michael Aswell kind of came out hot and heavy.
Oh yeah,
And Luke Riley recovered great at the last half of that first round, and was landing
mm-hmm.
beautiful combinations. And yeah, he was outstriked in that first round pretty decently, but he was able to land some really damaging shots. And Michael Aswell fought with a lot of grit, and that's what we've seen in all of his fights. Honestly, I love watching Michael Aswell fight. He's trains with Josh Vance. So we knew he was going to be a great boxer, And yeah, this was a striker's delight, and definitely would have been fight of the night if it weren't for that Mason Jones fight.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where both these guys can go in the future. I think Luke Riley has a very, very high ceiling,
Yeah,
very good striking, and I mean, he like you said, he was getting pieced up a little bit earlier in the first round, but I like that he was able to deal with some what's
adversity.
the adversity. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, he handled it well. Handled it well. And then getting into the main event of the night, extremely controversial main event here
yeah.
between Mavzar Evlov or Eve. How do you say his last name?
Evilov,
Eve
Evilev.
Evlov and Lerone Murphy. And Mavzar got the majority decision, 48-46 on two judges' scorecards, with one judge scoring at a 47-47 draw. Mavzar was deducted a point in the fourth round for a low blow. That was the second low blow of the fight. Noah, what were your thoughts on this main event?
I'm glad that we're seeing more uh, point deductions being taken over the last few
Yeah,
weeks. I
yeah,
mean, that was definitely that he definitely deserved to get a point taken away.
yeah,
I do not agree with this decision at all. I definitely think this was totally a 47-47 draw. I thought Lerone looked amazing. I thought that this fight was going to be very one-sided. I thought Mavzar was going to use his grappling a lot. We didn't see it. We didn't see much of it till round three.
yeah,
I mean,
yep,
Lerone actually, when he did get taken down too, he was right back up to his feet. Got out pretty fast against Mavzar. Uh, I mean, Lerone looked very, very good. I mean, he definitely he wanted that to win so bad.
yeah.
But
That was
I mean,
even on
I mean,
cards.
Mavzar. If there was no point deduction, it was Mavzar's fight. But the point deduction, I thought that I thought that it was 3 rounds to two, so it definitely would have had him 47-47.
Yeah,
And
that's
Lerone definitely could have definitely gotten 3 round or had 3 round hit 3 rounds himself. They were very close rounds like the start.
it was yeah, it was a very close fight. A lot of scorecards online, and but at the end of the day, it only comes down to the three that are in there in ringside, and two of them gave Mavzar round one, which was the closest round I felt of the fight.
Yeah,
A lot, I had a lot of people had Murphy up 3-0 going into round four.
I
And
had a 2-1 going in the round four, but I mean I wouldn't have been. I mean I could have seen it the 3-0, but yeah,
yeah,
it should have been a 47-47 draw.
yeah, and the only round Murphy got was round two. And I agree with that. I mean, not that should have been the only round, but I thought he definitely that was his best round
Oh
for
yeah,
sure.
that was definitely his round for sure.
And I don't know, yeah, I guess the front kicks that Mavzar kept landing to the body in round one were more damaging than whatever Lerone, because Lerone was landing nice in the first round. That was, he was on the outside, he was jabbing
Yeah,
away, picking his shots well. But those front kicks that Mavzar was landing, those were getting a big reaction out of Lerone, and I think
yeah,
that
it definitely was hurting his body more than
yeah,
anything.
yeah, and I think that's what got him that first round. And then obviously the point deduction, and then round three, four, and five, it was just his world. Just
Yeah,
grappling.
As soon as the point deduction like happened, Mavzar knew he had to pick it up. But I would have liked to see that earlier from Mavzar, a little bit more like a adrenaline or like pump to win. Like he kind of was coasting a little bit. It seemed like the first few rounds,
I
like he was trying
no,
to settle. Like he was like we said before. You guys said before the fight, it was his first 5 round fight. It was
yeah,
interesting to see how he would do. I mean, I thought he looked better in the later rounds than he did in the earlier rounds.
yeah. I think he like was didn't know how to manage his cardio, so he's like, I'm gonna need it for the later rounds. And we saw this exact strategy with Marab against Umar. He dropped those first 2 rounds to Umar, wasn't really doing his thing. And those last 3 rounds, he turned on the machine
Yep.
and did his thing. And it was pretty much the same thing with Mobstar. He just got to his wrestling. And honestly, Lerone Murphy did a great job getting back up. I mean, nine take
Yes.
but only 3 minutes and 54 seconds of control time.
Yeah,
That's pretty good for on a guy like Mavzar who had 6 minutes of control time against Aljamain Sterling. You know what
yeah.
I mean?
You do you think? I mean, we saw like some early judges' scorecards. I mean, they were very. I mean, they were favoring English fighters. It seemed like in more rounds. Not that's what shocked me the most that the scorecard was 48-46.
I was gonna say Lerone even on home turf didn't get even get the favored didn't get favored at all. Like even every other English fighter felt had a favored one judge at least gave him a favorite scorecard.
And then
And
like my next thing I have to say is that's a number one contender fight, and it was. I mean, like we said, we both said we thought it was a draw. Does Gene
yeah,
Silva get the next title shot over Mavzar after that?
if it was a draw, I think Gene Silva would have booked Gene Silva that night. They would have been like, all right, we're gonna run back Lerone Murphy and Mavzar. Gene Silva gets a title shot. We'll see what happens. But yeah, and then it looked like Lerone Murphy was hurt after the fight too. His hip, look at his hip was
Yeah,
hurt.
his
And so
hip. Yeah.
that's not good. I like Lerone Murphy. His
You
stock
think?
went up after
Do you think
that.
So is it? You think Mavzar gets a title shot?
He should. There's no
I
one
mean,
else.
yes, he definitely should.
Yeah,
I would not be surprised if the UFC said no, though.
I I I would be very surprised after after we saw on the post fight show last night with Volk being on there and calling out Mavzar and Mavzar saying he'd be ready for a fight in May. Um, yeah, I think it's gonna be Volk and Mavzar at International Fight Week in July. I think that's the plan.
Yeah,
And then Gene Silva versus Yair Rodriguez, or maybe even no, we're only
Vallejos.
or oh yeah, the Vallejos and Gene Silva rematch could be the next number one contender fight. Honestly, that could be a banger number one contender fight. But that's UFC London. All 13 fighters that won, we got absolutely correct. Shout out to Three Punch Combo for the $1,000. Now we're gonna get into UFC Seattle. Noah,
Yeah.
take it.
After seven drawn fights, we finally have a 13 fight card. And to start the night, we have a women's strawweight bout: Alexa Thainara versus Bruna Brazil. A rematch that Bruna Brazil won early in their careers. What's your
Yeah,
thoughts here, Connor?
yeah. Bruno Brazil stepping in on short notice after just fighting February 7th. So like crazy. Shout out to her for stepping in against a ranked opponent. Yeah, Alicia 2-0 in the UFC. One win by submission, one win by decision. Dana White Contender Series graduate. She was originally supposed to fight Stephanie Luciano, but Stephanie Luciano got injured. And yeah, Bruno Brazil, silly gillied Tanera in her third pro fight. That's still her only loss on her record. She's 13-1, 8 wins by submission, 5 wins by decision. Uh, yeah, 5 rear naked chokes, 3 arm bars. Rear naked choke versus Molly McCann. Um, Bruno Brazil's a pretty okay, decent defensive grappler. Saw her in the last fight against Ketlin Souza. Ketlin Souza was like 1 for 13 on takedowns. And Brazil, unfortunately got the unanimous decision loss and didn't look the best at all. And um, yeah, I think Taneric just gets an easy submission win here on Brazil. How about you?
Ooh, okay. Yeah, like I said, they have fought before in November 2019. Lost by or Thanara lost by Silly Gilly, but since then on fire. 11 fight win streaks, 8 fights finished, all subs, no KOs. She's 2-0 in the UFC. Five, like you said, 5 wins by rear naked chokes, 2 arm bars, and the two arm bars she has are under 8 seconds, which was insane to me when I saw that. How do you get an arm bar in 8 seconds? And then Bruna Brazil, she's a fighting nerd. She's like looked flat the last few times she's fought, though. I feel like
Yeah,
uh, she got sent down 2 fights ago to road to UFC to work her way back. Her last 7 fights have gone loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. So she's back and forth with her wins and losses. Uh, I think this is a win or lose job for Bruna Brazil here. I mean, I feel like if she doesn't win this fight, she may not be in the UFC much longer, or even after the weekend. But
Yeah.
I think it's a really close fight. I do think with it being like possibly one of her last fights in the UFC that Bruna Brazil is going to give Thanara a run for her money, but I'm going to go with Thanara by decision here.
Dang. I mean, I love Bruno Brazil, fighting nerd. Love my fighting nerds. I hate bet or picking against them, but yeah, I think Tenera gets her revenge. I think she's gonna be hunting for that
Yeah,
submission
she's
over
she's looked
10.
hot, man, ever since that loss. So I'm sure she's had this like circled on her wall
Oh,
for a long time. Like Bruna Brazil, she beat me. I need to get this get back.
and honestly, I think the UFC are just looking for a reason to get Bruno Brazil out of the UFC.
Yep.
But well, should
And
be a
then our
fun one.
next fight of the night, we have a men's bantamweight bout between Ricky Simone and Adrian Jans. Connor, thoughts here?
Yeah, Ricky 10-6 in the UFC. Jan's 6-3 in the UFC. Couple of vets going at it here. Ricky, aggressive wrestler. Jan's known for his striking. 5 wins by knockout out of his 6 wins in the UFC. He's coming off a split decision loss to Daniel Marcos, who's a really good bantamweight opponent. He looked great in that fight. He's lost 3 of his last 4. They're all good losses though. Uh, both uh, both of the decision losses were split. He has been KO'd by Rob Font and that TKO leg kick by Jonathan Martinez still makes me cringe every time I see it. And yeah, 4 of his last fights been finishes. Ricky Simone, last time out, we saw him get absolutely destroyed by Ione Barcelos, and we watched Ione Barcelos just outclass Ricky Simone and make Ricky Simone look like a child. And yeah, I don't know. I think I got a good feeling about Jan's getting this the knockout here, and I think yeah, I'm gonna pick the underdog in this fight. I think Jans gets the knockout. I think Ricky's gonna be reckless again and be an aggressive wrestler, and I think Jans will catch him.
Okay. Like you said, Daniel Marcos last loss for Adrian Jans, but that's been almost a year and a half now since he's fought. Nice little layoff. He's got 5 split decisions in his career, 3 losses, 2 wins. Like you said, he's lost 3 of his last 4. Daniel Marcos, Jonathan Martinez, and Rob Font. I mean, not bad losses, but you could say the same thing about Ricky Simone. His losses have aged very well. He lost to Barcelos, who's been on a real hot streak. Vinicius Oliveira, Mario Batista, Song Yadong, Rob Font, and Uriah Faber. Uh, like Ricky Simone, contender series guy, didn't want to fight but did not get a contract on season 1 of contender series. Then in his UFC debut, beat the Machine, Marab
Yeah,
Davalishvili. I think that Ricky Simone's a good favorite here, and I feel like this is a good bounce back spot for Ricky Simone after taking that Ronnie Barcelos loss, and I think that he surprises a lot of people, and he gets a KO over Adrian's in this fight.
yeah. This is a tough one because Ricky Simone, 4 of his last fights have gone to decision, and Jans, 4 of his last 5 fights have been finishes. So this is a
Not in his favor though.
not in his favor, but it's tough. It'll be a tough one to bet on. So it's a close one. It's close to a pick'ems. So Ricky Simone is favored slightly, but that should be a great fight to start the card. Well, second fight to start the card. I'm really excited for
And
that one.
yeah, it would be a good fight. Next fight of the night, we have a light heavyweight bout between undefeated Navajo Sterling versus Bruno Lopez. Connor?
Yeah, Navajo Sterling, 3-0 in the UFC now, all wins by decision. Dana White Contender Series graduate, um, had a round 2 knockout on the Contender Series. Great kickboxer. Not a He's an all right grappler actually. He's been getting better at each fight. Um, Two of his wins are 30-27 unanimous decisions. He had a 29-28 versus Ivan Erslan, and he's just a kickboxer, man. That's just plain and simple. Bruno Lopez 1-1 in the UFC, one loss by knockout, one win by decision. Uh, Two-time Dana White Contender Series appearances or appearances. I don't know how to word that, but lost the first time, won the second time. Last time out, got absolutely starched by Dustin Jacoby. Um, yeah, I mean Navajo Sterling's a huge favorite here. It was like 500 on Bruno Lopez. Uh, Navajo Sterling's been getting better each fight. The grappling defense is getting better each fight. Bruno Lopez is not going to be able to stand with him. Bruno Lopez is going to be, shooting for takedowns like he normally does. And I think Navajo Sterling's going to end this pretty quickly. And I got Navajo Sterling by a round one knockout here.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
think he
like
gets
you
his.
said, Navajo Sterling, great kickboxer, but that's how city kickboxing is. All their guys are great kickboxers. He's in the place to be if you're a kickboxer. Young,
Yeah.
28 years old, 3 fights in the UFC, 3 unanimous decisions, but before that he's got 4 finishes out of the 8 wins, all by KO. Bruno, the Brazilian Cowboy Lopez, 14-2, has been KO'd twice, is which I mean, I is something that we need to look out for with Sterling's KO power. Uh, Former LFA champ, coming off a pretty brutal KO loss to Dustin Jacoby, and I agree with Connor. I feel like that Sterling can get him out pretty quick.
Yeah, I think we see Sterling get his first UFC finish, honestly.
Yeah, I think we've been waiting for a little bit. I think I've the past few times he's fought, I thought he was gonna get a finish, but I think this is gonna be his first one for sure. Sterling by
Yeah.
KO.
Yeah. I'm hopeful.
Our next fight, we have a women's flyweight matchup, a ranked matchup between number 14 Gabrielle Fernandez and number 12 Casey O'Neill. What's your thoughts here, Connor?
Yeah, Casey O'Neill 5-2 in the UFC, 2 wins by knockout, 1 win by submission, 2 wins by decision. She has been submitted in the UFC. She's coming off a long layoff.
Mm-hmm.
Last fight was in August of 2024. Unanimous decision win over Luana Santos. This is going to be her 8th fight in 5 years. Uh, not very good. Um, yeah, and then Gabriel Fernandez, only 3-2 in the UFC, ranked 14th, 11-3 in her career, 2 wins by knockout, 4 wins by submission. She's coming off a 29-28 unanimous decision win in her last fight. She's on a 3-fight win streak. Her best win was round 2 rear naked choke win over Wang Kong, when she also knocked Wang Kong down and then was able to submit her. That's how she got into the rankings. Her UFC debut was versus Jasmine Jazdekuvic, and surprisingly made it to decision with Jasmine,
Mm-hmm.
and also had a split decision with Carly Judas. And so she's been in some
Win.
absolute war.
A win. 2.
Oh yeah, split decision win with over Carly Judas. My bad. And then yeah, so I mean, uh, Casey O'Neill, terrific fighter. She heavy grappling attack and excuse me, heavy grappling attack in her first 3 fights in the UFC, and we haven't really seen much of her grappling in her last 4 fights. But I think she gets back to the grappling in this fight, and I think Casey O'Neill gets the submission win in this fight.
Okay. Yeah, like you said, long layoff for Casey O'Neill. I know, like right before she had her last fight, she was. We haven't seen her much because she had a ACL tear a few years ago, but she won her last fight with Luana Santos. Luana Santos is not a bad person to beat. She got 5 finishes out of 10 wins, 3 of them being KO. Even though she is a grappling head tech, she does have
Yeah,
some
good
put
ground
away
and
power. She's like
yeah,
one of my favorite women's to fighters to watch when she's healthy. But Gabriel Fernandez is hot. She's 3 fight win streak. Like we said, she has a split with Carly Judas, who has looked great the past her recently in the UFC. She's gonna get a ranked opponent soon, and she subbed Wayne Kong, who has looked very good outside of her fight with Gabriel Hernandez. I mean, feel like this is like could be a grappler's delight here with both of
Yeah.
these girls heavy grappling. Whoever's gonna win that grappling battle is gonna probably end up winning the fight, and I think Casey O'Neill has the advantage, and I have her by decision.
Ooh, yeah. I think I agree with the grappler's delight. I do see this being a grappler's delight, and I could see a ground and pound TKO from Casey O'Neill in
I
six
could
of her
see that
seven
too. Yes, I don't see the
six
sub
of her
happening. I think that
fights.
Gabriel Fernandez is uh will be able to protect her neck enough, but yeah, I could see a ground and pound finish if there is one.
Yeah, I mean, six of her
But
seven fights she has over 100 total strikes landed in 6 of 7 fights. So Casey O'Neill is a dog, and I cannot wait to watch her fight.
and then our next fight of the night, we have a heavyweight bout between Marcin Tybura and UFC debutant Tyrell Fortune. Connor, what's your thoughts here?
Yeah, Tabora was supposed to fight Walter Walker, but Walter Walker is still injured, so unfortunately we
Yeah,
don't get to
recovering
see.
from that leg break still, I believe.
Yeah, so we don't get to see
Even
a
though he
heel.
was able to compete with Zion Clark.
Yeah, yeah, right. Don't need legs for that fight. But I'm sorry, Zion Clark, we love you. Um, yeah, Tyrell Fortune getting the call, short notice. 13-2 in Bellator. He's a big Bellator guy. 8 wins by knockout in Bellator. 1 win by submission. 3 wins by decision. He has been knocked out in Bellator. He's currently on a 3-fight knockout streak.
hmm
Uh, in round 1, round 2, and round 3. He does have a heel hook loss in the PFL. So if he does get this win and he has to fight Walter Walker, I pray for this man's heel. Um, yeah, his last 4 fights in a row have all been finishes. His last he just had a fight in September. He got the round 3 TKO win. He has 5 ground and pound TKOs in his career, and his submission win is by rear naked choke. So his ground game might be able to match that of Tybora's, and I think that is why this fight is a pick'em. And we all know Tabora, 14-9 in the UFC. He's been around forever. He's
hmm
on his way out. 4 of his last 5 fights have been finishes. He's 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Um, he's fought the best of the best. Yeah, I don't know, man. Short notice fights are tough for both sides, but I'm gonna take Tyrell Fortune in the upset here. I think Tyrell Fortune gets another ground and pound TKO here. I'm gonna go with the upset here, even though it's a pick'ems. I'm going with the upset. I'm gonna take Tyrell Fortune for
Tyrell
this one.
Fortune's favored now.
Oh, now he's favored, huh?
Uh huh. But Marcin Tybura, 40 years old, like Connor said, we've seen him in the UFC forever, 14-9 in the UFC, coming off a round 1 KO loss to Ante Delija, which has looked good in his time in the UFC. But before that, he was on a 2-fight win streaks, and he beat 2 unbeaten prospects, Jonta Denise and Mick Parkin. 17 finishes, and he splits it up very well. He's got 9 subs, 8 KOs, and I got circled in big letters. He beats guys he should beat. Tyrell Fortune, 17-3, making his UFC debut at 35, so a little bit older. But 3-fight KO streak, like Connor said. Bellator guy, Bellator and PFL guy. So he's
Yeah.
fought in other huge fight promotions before the UFC. He's been 17-3, but he's been finished twice in his career, sub and KO. Like I said, Marcin Tybura beats guys he should have beat, and I feel like Tyrell Fortune is a guy he should beat, and I think that Marcin Tybura is going to get a sub here and get the job done.
They also do have a common opponent. Martian Tabora does have a unanimous decision loss to Tim Johnson, and Tyrell Fortune was knocked out by Tim Johnson actually in Bellator. So both have lost to Tim Johnson. Very interesting. And yeah,
Shout out
Tabora,
Tim Johnson.
huh?
I
What?
said shout out Tim Johnson.
Yeah, shout out Tim Johnson, man. He'll be watching. He'll be watching his kids fight this weekend. But yeah, I like
All right.
Tabora definitely beats who he's supposed to beat. That's
Yeah.
good. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, he has losses, but the guys he's lost to are all guys that we
That he
figured he
should.
probably would lose to.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good input. Yeah.
Our next fight of the night, a lightweight bout between Chase Hooper and Lance Gibson Jr. Connor, what's your thoughts here?
Chase Hooper's 13th UFC fight, and he's only 26 years old.
26 years old.
That is mind-boggling. Um, yeah, 2-2 or 8-4 in the UFC. 2 wins by knockout. He's been knocked out twice. 4 wins by submission. That's what we know him for, is grappling. 2 wins by decision. 2 losses by decision. Me and Noah actually had the privilege of seeing Chase Hooper get absolutely flatlined in person in Chicago against Alexander Hernandez in the first round in his last fight. It was awesome. We were going crazy. Um, yeah, 5 fight win streak prior to that. Used to be at 145er. Alexander Hernandez, the first 155er to beat Chase Hooper. Um, his last fight at 145 was a KO loss to Steve Garcia, and rightfully so. He moved up afterwards. I would too if that happened. Lance Gibson getting his second UFC fight after getting that 4 day short notice fight against King Green his last time out, and actually won the fight on one scorecard. Split decision loss, 29-28. Um, very, very boring fight. He
Yeah.
wasn't getting very active. He was just kind of dancing around. Only landed 9 headshots, 8 body shots, and 13 leg kicks throughout the whole fight. He was able to get 2 takedowns on King Green, which is very, very impressive. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but it's tough on 4 days' notice, and I'm glad they gave him another shot. And yeah, this would be a great fight to really prove himself. And yeah, how about you know?
Like Connor said, oh, who do you have in this fight? You didn't say.
Oh, yeah, I think I'm gonna take Chase Hooper by decision here.
Okay. Yeah, like Connor said, Chase Hooper, we were there his last fight against Alex Hernandez. I had Chase Hooper winning. He was definitely a parlay killer for me that night. Before that fight though, he was on a 5 fight win streak. 12 finishes on his career, 8 subs. He's a very tricky grappler. I have written down. Uh, he's very good at bouncing back after L's. I feel like in his career. Lance Gibson, we saw his last fight with King Green, short notice, 4 days, like Connor said. Which he got a split decision, which I was really surprised with. I mean, King Green maybe old, was getting beat up by some guys, but I mean, King Green's looked pretty good his last 2 fights. I mean, that's not a bad loss to have.
No,
Before that, he was a Bellator guy, 5-1 in Bellator, 6 round 1 finishes on his career. So I have that he's a very fast starter. So Chase Hooper's got to watch out for that. Like we said, he's coming off a first round KO loss. So watch out for Lance Gibson early, but I think this is Chase Hooper's fight to lose, and I have Chase Hooper by sub.
ooh, that's interesting. He also has a 5 round split decision grappling match loss to Aljamain Sterling.
Yeah,
I didn't even know this happened. This was in January of 2024, which is like just 2 years ago. And he had a grappling match with Hanato Muikano, which was only one
I feel
round.
like
But
grappling always matches end and draw.
yeah,
It's so common. I don't know,
but hey,
but
going five with Sterling at 24 years old and
yeah,
getting a split decision,
very impressive.
he's an insane grappler. And
Yeah,
that round,
he's like I said, very tricky grappler.
yeah, that round one armbar on Clay Guida, nasty. But the last time he got knocked out, he was really gun shy in that first fight after coming up to 155 and got that unanimous decision win. I think he might be a little gun shy, and he could get the sub easily, but we'll see.
Next fight of the night is another lightweight bout between Ignacio Bahamondes stepping in on short notice versus Tofik Musayev. And this fight's going to be very exciting. I have this written down being my fight of the night for this card.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely is a striker's delight. I will say that. Um, yeah, Ignacio, 11 career wins by knockout. He's 6-3 in the UFC. 3 wins by knockout, 2 wins by submission. All three of his losses are decisions. Um, round one knockout over Manuel Torres, who's currently ranked
Yeah,
13th, 12th.
yeah, right around that 12, 13 range, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and then decision loss to Lodovic Klein, really good loss. Coming off his 30-27 loss to Vazeev, so he's got some really good losses on his record, and
Hmm.
that submission win over Jalen Turner in the first round. Um, he's a terrific prospect. He used to be ranked, and I think he's gonna. I think after he wins this, he'll get another ranked opponent and find himself back in the rankings pretty soon. And
If he's able to win this.
I think he's able to win. I think and then Tofik, his debut against Oralby, mixed Tibet Oralby, and then he's subbed in the first round by a Kimura. He's from the Risen promotion, 7-1 in there, 5 knockouts. Was subbed in there as well. Four losses by submission in his career. 12 of his 18 career knockouts are in the first round. Um, yeah, I he struggles against grapplers, and I think Ignacio his size is gonna be a little too much for Tofik, and I think his weird length is gonna he's gonna go right to the grappling, and I think he's gonna get the submission win pretty quick.
Okay. Yeah, Tofik Musayev, 22-6, 0-1 in the UFC, like Connor said, but that loss being to mixed Tibet Orlabai, and man, look at Orlabai last week was insane at
And
170. This fight was at 155. So,
yeah,
but when he was coming into the UFC, everyone's saying Tafik Musayev, name to watch. 20 finishes in his career, 18 KOs, over 10 of those being round one finishes. Risen Grand Prix champ, but like Connor said, 4 sub losses on his career, definitely stands out. Ignacio Bahamondes, 17-6, 6-3 in the UFC, won on Contender Series November 2020 by a round 2 KO. Coming off a loss to Fazeev, but was on a nice 3-fight win streak before that with wins over a ranked guy right now, Manuel Torres, and a former staple in the rankings, Jalen Turner. 13 finishes on his career, 11 KOs. He's very fun to watch. He's from Chicago, or he's from Chicago Fight Team, Bilal's team. So gotta rep Chicago. I'm gonna go with my
go
Chicago guy. I'm gonna go with Bahamondes, and then I'm also gonna go with Bahamondes by sub. But don't be surprised if Tafik gives him a run for his money.
all right. Yeah, Ignacio taking on short notice too, so that's always tough. So yeah, Tafik could get the upset.
Our next fight of the night, lightweight bouts versus T-Rex McKinney versus Kyle Nelson. Connor, what's your thoughts here?
I love watching a Terrence McKinney fight, man. This guy is electric. I can't get enough of him. Win or lose, it doesn't matter. I don't think he even cares either. He just loves to fucking fight. And 7-5 in the UFC, 17-8 in his career, 25 pro fights. None of them have gone to the judges'
No,
scorecards. He's never even had a fight go into the third round,
no,
and he is he's insane. 7-second KO in his debut. I think he had like a 16-second KO after that. He's awesome to watch, win or lose, and going up against a tough opponent. Or his last time out, he was subbed by Chris Duncan in the first round. Shout out Chris Duncan. We love Chris Duncan.
yeah, main event here in a few weeks for Chris Duncan.
And then we got subbed Fair Ziam in the first round. That's what it was. Crazy. Yeah, Terrence McKinney's electric. Fighting Kyle Nelson here, 5-1 in the UFC, 2 wins by knockout. He's been knocked out 3 times, 3 wins by decision, 17-6 in his career, 10 wins by finish. Coming off a 29-28 unanimous decision win over Matt Frevola. Yeah, Kyle Nelson, not really the most exciting fighter in the world. He's 1-2 at 155 pounds now in the UFC. He's lost to Jai Herbert. He's lost to Diego Ferreira. He had a draw with Doohoo Choi. Um, he's won 4 of his last 5 fights after starting 1-4 in the UFC. So he is a little bit on a he's on a little bit of the rise, but he hasn't really fought anybody. Um, None of his wins are really worth bragging about, I'd say. And so I think Terrence McKinney gets a round one silly gilly here.
Ooh. Yeah, Kyle Nelson, like you said, 17-6-1 in his career, 5-5-1 in the UFC. Won 4 of his last 5 fights though, and the only loss is Steve Garcia, who has been on a tear. So he's been fighting hot lately. He's been looking good. Uh, this is his second fight back up at lightweight because he was fighting down at what featherweight for a little bit there. 2 UFC finishes, 10 finishes on his career. 6 of them being by KO. So he's got put away power, and we've seen McKinney get KO'd before. But Terrence McKinney, man, I have in big letters, don't blink during this fight at all because it's going to be over fast. 17 finishes, 9 by sub, 8 by KO, mixes it up very well. Like Connor said, no fights have gone the distance, and only 4 of his 25 fights have gone to the second round,
That is ridiculous.
uh, which is insane. And I think it's gonna be another fast fight. Give me T-Rex by KO. I feel like he gets a good bounce back after that Chris Duncan loss. I mean, he looked good in that Chris Duncan loss too before he got knocked out. He
Yeah, just
had
kind
Chris
of
Duncan hurt there a little bit.
gassed himself out a little too quickly there.
And then our next fight of the night, getting away from the lightweights finally, we get a middleweight matchup with Manzur Abdul Malik and Yorzi Balagore. Balagore.
Yeah, U3. Yeah.
Connor, what's your thoughts here?
Really exciting prospects. We don't really get this a lot with just two young prospects fighting each other. It's mainly a prospect versus some scrub until they get into the rank. This is a really really real. This is my fight of the night. This is for sure going to be my fight of the night.
Okay.
Um, yeah, Mansoor Abdul Malik, man, 3-0-1 in the UFC, coming off that draw with Cody Brundage. Um, Later overturned to a draw, but he did get like the win initially, but overturned to a draw. Um, then that wasn't his last fight, excuse me. Then he had that round one guillotine choke over Antonio Tricoli, who we just saw fight
Mm-hmm.
last night. Yeah, he's looked great. Two wins by all of his wins by a finish. We saw Cody Brundage give him a run for his money. I think that was very alarming, considering his UFC wins aren't that good. Nick Klein, who's 0-2, Tricoli, who's now 0-4, Dusko, who's 4-6. Yeah, he's 4 inches shorter than Yusri in this fight, and he has a half-inch reach advantage. So he's got some crazy arm length, and
Yeah.
Yusri is a very very prominent kickboxer. Used to fight in Glory. He's fought Alex Pereira 3 times. He's fought Israel Adesanya twice. He's only 33 years old. Fought Israel Adesanya twice in 2016. So he fought Izzy when he was only 23 years old. Lost both of them. One of them was a split decision. The other was a unanimous decision. And he actually beat Alex Pereira in 2018 and then got KO'd twice by Alex in the next two, as you would expect. Only 9-3 in his short MMA career. Both fighters only 9 wins in their careers. Both have 7 knockouts in their careers. Um, Abdul Malik, no decisions in his career besides the draw up until that draw. Uh, yeah, this should be a really fun one. I think U3 gets it done here by either a round one knockout or a unanimous decision.
Round one, huh?
Yeah, it's either gonna be yep, yeah. What is that?
Manzur Abdul Malik, like we said, undefeated, 9-0, one. I mean, he has the draw on his record, but contender series guy. All his fights are by finish. He KO'd the guy in the round 2 on contender series. Like Connor said, he looked beatable in that Cody Brundage fight, definitely. And if he's, but I feel like there's been some time since that fight. If he's been able to fix things after that, he definitely could be a problem. And then Yerzy, uh, he 1-1 on Contender Series, lost to Marco Tulio, but 1-0 in the UFC. Had a big upset win in his last fight over Azamat Bakoyev, round 3 KO. Glory kickboxer, like we said, and he fought the best of the best in Glory, Alex, and with a win over Alex and split with Izzy, it's two of Glory's most prominent kickboxers. I uh I think this is a good choice for an upset, and definitely going to be a text for Manzur, and I think Jersey gets a KO, but I think it's going to be later. I think it's going to be like a after Manzur loses a little bit of his cardio is going to get tested and then gets KO'd. So give me a Jersey by like a round 3 KO.
Okay, I like it.
And then our next fight of the night, we have a featherweight bout between Julian Erosa versus Larian Douglas. Connor, thoughts here?
Yeah, Juicy J, man, Juliani Rosa, in his hometown, making the octagon walk for the 18th time. 31-12 in his career, 9-8 in the UFC. 6 of his 8 losses in the UFC are by knockout. 2 losses by decision, including his last fight out against Melky Costa, which he lost 29-28 on all 3 scorecards. Very impressive performance from Juicy J. 14 submission career wins. Never been submitted in his career. 12 wins by knockout in his career. So he's a 26 finishes out of 31 wins. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful record. Um, he's fought he's fought great recently, honestly. His last 3 wins are all finishes. TKO'd versus Darren Elkins. He's subbed Christian Rodriguez, subbed Ricardo Ramos. He's subbed Charles Jourdain, subbed Sean Woodson. He's TKO'd Nate Landwehr. Julian Rosa is a very, very awkward fight style to deal with, and
Mm-hmm.
his is just amazing. And I love watching Julian Rosa. He's one of my favorite fighters for sure. I loved watching him on The Ultimate Fighter. I love his story. You know, Dana White Contender Series, didn't get the contract, came back in the UFC, crazy run. Um, yeah, Larry Ann Douglas making his UFC debut, Dana White Contender Series graduate, beat Cam Teague, who Cam Teague was making his second appearance on the Contender Series, and you know we kind of knew Cam Teague wasn't going to win that fight, and Larry Ann Douglas looked great, 2 knockdowns on him in 36 seconds. He's on a 5-fight knockout win streak. Yeah, he's 13-5 in his pro career. 2 losses by knockout and 2 losses by submission, which is very alarming for a prospect coming in against someone like Julian Rosa. And but he was TKO'd by Isaac Thompson, who was in the UFC as well. And he did have a KO win over Javier Reyes, who we did just see get his UFC debut win against my one of my golden gooses, Douglas Silva de Andrade. Yeah, he's 6-1 in his last 7 fights, man. He has a 5-round unanimous decision win, so the cardio's there.
Yep.
Uh, he's really just found his rhythm as of late, you know, with the KOs. All in the LFA too, so LFA really, you know, helped him shine, and the UFC's giving him a chance right out of LFA. But I don't think he's gonna be able to uh, solve the puzzle that is Juliani Rosa. And I think Juliani Rosa gets a pretty fast finish here. I think it's going to be a round 1 submission.
Okay. Yeah, Larry and Douglas. He said LFA guy, LFA champ to be exact. Just started finding his KO power. I have written down. He's got 5 KO, five fight KO win streak, but before that he only had 2 on his record out of 9 finishes. But making his UFC debut, uh, like you said, Julian Erosa is a puzzle that you have to solve. Uh, Looked
Wow.
really good his last fight against Melky Costa, and we've
Yep.
seen how good Melky Costa's been.
Yeah.
Even won a round in that fight.
Yeah.
Before that, 3 fight win streak, including 2 round 1s guillotines. Uh, 26 finishes in 31 fights, which is super impressive. 14 of them being by sub. but I do have he's been KO'd 7 times, and with Larian Douglas is finding his KO power of recent, that could be an issue. But I think that they're the power of Douglas lately and the grappling of Rosa is gonna cancel each other out, and then we're gonna get like a pretty even fight. But give me the experience of that in this one, and I'm gonna have it Rosa by decision.
I like it. I like it a lot.
And then our next fight of the night, a welterweight fight and a huge retirement fight for Michael Chiesa versus Nico Price. What's your thoughts here, Connor?
Uh, yawn. My thought is yawn. I mean, it was supposed to be Carlston Harris. I think that would have been a more competitive, fun fight for Chiesa. Getting his retirement fight in his hometown or home city. Um, Yeah, Chiesa, man. I mean, 14-7 in the UFC, been around forever. We know his style. He's just gonna want to get you on the ground and choke you out. No wins by knockout in his career still. I'm really, really hoping that he lets the hands go and we can see him get his first career knockout win. He doesn't even have a knockdown. He doesn't even have a knockdown in his MMA career, or at least in his UFC career. And I really want to see either a knockout or at least a knockdown from Chiesa. And shout out to Nico Price for taking this on short notice so that Chiesa can have his retirement fight in his home city.
Yeah,
And yeah, Nico Price was my golden goose before. Didn't go so well against Nikolai
fell
Varetnikov.
asleep on his feet.
Yeah, put out on his feet. Nico Price has won 2 of his last 10 fights. Not good. And his grappling is not good either. Temba Garimbo had almost 10 minutes of control time on him, and yeah, those Temba Garimbo and Michel Pereira are the only 2 guys that he's fought in the UFC that have not finished him, or that have taken him to a decision, or that he's lost to decision. He does have 2 wins by decision, but his 2 decision losses are Temba Garimbo and Michel Pereira, which is pretty impressive. He does have 2 failed drug tests for weed, so hopefully he doesn't fuck or mess this fight up for Chiesa. But
I mean,
yeah, pretty much just expect Michael Chiesa to just get him to the ground and submit him pretty early and pretty easily, just like we've seen him do throughout his career.
yeah, I agree. Michael Chiesa retirement fight in his hometown. What a career. Tough season 15 winner. Won 3 fights in a row. Before that, he had 3 fight L streak, but they were all good losses. Vicente Luque, Sean Brady, and Kevin Holland. 11 rear naked chokes in his career, which is pretty insane out of 19 wins.
Yeah,
Coming off uh, a big loss, Nico Price. February 7th, I'm surprised that they're able to get him in there
yeah,
after getting KO'd like that.
yeah.
3 fight losing streak. And he's been rear naked choke as of late, June 2025 against Jacoby Smith. So I have Michael Chiesa, the king of rear naked chokes, is going to get a rear naked choke and ride off into a sunset.
Absolutely, amen.
And then we go into the co-main event of the night, a top 5 matchup in the women's flyweight division, and is former champ Alexa Grasso versus Macy Barber. What's your thoughts here, Connor?
Yeah, got a rematch here from a few years ago. Alexa Grasso beat Macy Barber 29-28 on all 3 scorecards.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Macy Barber was heavy grappling approach, 3 of 5 on takedowns, 3 minutes of control time, but Grasso's reversals were just a little too much. She also had 5 minutes of control time of her own. Outstriked Barber, got the win. Um, that's 5 years ago, and Macy Barber was only 22 years old. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's grown a lot since then. She's 10-2 in the UFC, so it's one of her only 2 losses in the UFC. And against a tough opponent like Alexa Grasso, who's fought Valentina Shevchenko 3 times, and only lost to her once out of those 3 times. And yeah, man, Macy Barber coming off her 29-28 and unanimous decision win over Karine Silva her last time out after having that scary seizure just moments before her walkout against Erin Blanchfield last year in May. It was very scary, but it was great to see her come back and against Karine Silva, and she looked like she didn't miss a beat. Was very on point, just doing her thing. 6 minutes of control time, got to her grappling, does what she normally does. Um, yeah, I mean she does have 2 split wins on her record, so you'll have that with a lot of women's fighters.
Hmm.
Alexa Grasso, absolutely dominated by Valentina in their last fight. Got 50-45 in part 3 of that. She's coming off a unanimous decision loss versus Natalia Silva. She hasn't won a round in her last 2 fights. Not a good look. But that those win. I feel like we're overvaluing Alexa Grasso just based on those first 2 fights with Valentina when she beat her and when they had the draw.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, yeah, Grasso was she found her weight. She was 3-3 at strawweight. Now she's 5-2-1 at 125. She's had 4 5-round fights, so she's got a lot of good cardio. But I don't know. I think Macy Barber takes the rematch, and I think she takes it pretty cleanly and pretty easily too.
Okay. Yeah, Macy Barber, number 5 at women's flyweight right now, 15-2, 10-2 in the UFC, 7-fight win streak. Last loss was the first fight between her and Alexa Grasso. 8 finishes in her career, 6 of them being by KO, but 6 KOs, but very good grappler. I mean, I think she only has 2 subs, but her grappling is very, very good. Like
Very
Connor
good.
said, she had a very scary medical issue last year with a seizure before the Erin Blanchfield fight, which
Yeah.
hopefully we see that rematch sometime soon. Contender Series alum, won by round 3 TKO in 2018. And Lexi Grasso, number 3, former champ, hasn't looked great as of late, but Natalia Silva is a tough test, and Valentina is just Valentina. And 5 finishes in her career, 4 by KO, or 6 finishes in her career, my bad. 4 of them by KO. Did sub Valentina, but like Connor said, beat Barber in 2021, 29-28, and I feel like this is going to be another really, really close fight between the two, but I have to go with the youth, and I think that Macy Barber will be a champion one day, and I'm going to go with Macy Barber by decision.
Oh, 100, yeah, she definitely. Yeah, I think this fight gets her into that title talk. Like Natalia Silva's actually obviously next, and I think that
Yeah, I think they do. If Barber wins this fight, you see the Barber Blanchfield, they get rebook that, and
yeah,
then whoever
round-
wins that fight gets the title shot
yeah, definitely, yeah,
after Natalia Silva.
yeah. But I don't think anybody's beating my girl Manon. So
Oh yeah, she's got to get a title shot too. So Macy Barber's got some work to do.
yeah, there's a lot of
Alrighty, and then let's get into the main event of the night. Number 4, Israel, the last stylebender, Adesanya versus Joe Bodybad Piper. Connor, what do you got here?
yeah, Izzy and his 15th main event. Oh no, 16th main event, 14th in a row. And yeah, I mean this is the longest layoff of his career, been a little over a year now. He did have a pretty long layoff after the Sean Strickland fight, but that was only 11 months. Um yeah, I mean, yeah, lost 4 of his last 5, but they're all great
Good
losses. I mean,
losses. Yeah, very good
would
losses.
love to have those losses on my resume as well. And obviously, he beat Alex Pereira, which being his last win still, which is kind of not looking good for Izzy right now. But this is a very favorable matchup for Adesanya, I believe. I think he's got a good chance here to get back in the win column against Joe Pyfers. Only 6-1 in the UFC, 3 wins by knockout, 2 wins by submission. Dana White Contender Series graduate was knocked out on the promotion actually by Dustin
He wasn't knocked out. He broke his arm.
or broke his arm on
Yeah.
there. That. And then yeah, came back and in 2022 got the knockout win over Ozzy Diaz, who's going to be fighting Atiba Gadier pretty soon. And then, yeah, he's also Joe Piper's a pretty good grappler. He's had 3 grappling matches against Eric Anders, Gerald Mearshart, and Nicholas Willie, and he actually won all of them, which is very impressive, especially against Gerald Mearshart, who is also KO'd in the UFC. So that's crazy. And all 3 of his knockouts have been in the first round of the UFC, and both of his submission wins have been in the second round. This is the second 5-round fight of Piper's career. Um, his first one being against Jack Hermanson. He won the first 2 rounds, lost the last 3, so 48-47 on all 3 scorecards. Wasn't able to get going with his grappling because, Jack Hermanson's a great grappler. And, yeah, Piper looked great in those first 2 rounds, but just really couldn't manage his cardio well in those last 3 and got picked apart pretty nicely. But I think Piper's going to be able to get to the grappling a little bit easier here on Adesanya. And Adesanya had great takedown defense against Imavov in his last fight. Defended 3 takedowns, nice. DDP, I think he defended 6 takedowns on DDP. DDP was like 3 of 9 on takedowns. But I think I don't know. I think Piper. I think the youth here is on his side. Is he's not getting any better. He's not getting any younger. I don't know. I think Piper pulls up the huge upset here, and I think Joe Piper gets a submission win over Izzy.
Yeah, yeah, it's not really a huge upset. I mean, seeing before this week, Piper was the betting favorite, but Israel's the betting
But
favorite now.
being number
Huh?
14, being number
Yeah,
14, fighting the number 4 guy, like that's a huge
yeah.
upset.
Izzy 3-fight losing streak, lost 4 of 5, but like you said, the names Alex Pereira, Sean Strickland, Dricus Duplessis, and Imavov, but Nazardine Imavov. But before that, man, Izzy was the man. 6 title defense wins, one of the best middleweights of all time. 16 finishes, all by KO out of 24 wins. And like you said, the 13th or 14th 5-round main event in a row for him versus a guy that's only had is getting his second main event spot, and the first one he gassed out pretty bad against Hermanson. He did not do anything much the last few rounds, but Joe Piper's been looking great as of late. 3-fight win streak, a nice sub against Abus Magomedov in
Yeah,
October 2025, which was surprising. 13 finishes in his career, 9 of them being KO. And when this guy touches you, it can hurt you really bad. He's got
yeah.
deadly, deadly punches. That's why given the name body bags, for a
Mhm.
reason. But I think Israel's takedown defense, if that's Piper's way to go here, is going to be good enough to defend. And I think this is a 5-round fight. I think Izzy's going to be pretty dominant in it, and I have Izzy by decision.
I
Possible late KO if Piper passes out or gasses out.
I definitely see that happening as well. I don't know, man. The guy, his other submission win, Abdul Razak, that guy had a split decision with Joaquin Buckley, and had a lot of success wrestling Joaquin Buckley, and Piper manhandled him on the ground, and
I just think Adesanya has good takedown defense, and I think he's seen better takedown abilities than Joe Piper than in the last few fights than what Joe Piper brings.
I think so too. I don't know how Izzy's gonna. This is the longest layoff. Like I said, it's the longest layoff of his
I think it's a
career.
good layoff though. Like he's
Yeah,
always been like back to back to back to back to back with his fight. He just needed some
yeah.
time to rest. So yeah, give
We
me
don't.
Izzy in this one. I really like Izzy to win this one.
Yeah, I don't know. After and the last time his longest layoff was after the Sean fight, and then he came back and lost 2 of the first 3 rounds to Dricus, and then got subbed in the 4th round.
I
You
don't
know, so
know. That was I feel like the last few, besides the Strickland fight, Izzy's been doing pretty good
yeah,
against these guys.
yeah. He won 3 of the first 5 rounds against Alex. Like Alex needed that finish, and
That DDP fight was super close until the 4th round, and DDP took over.
DDP was already like up on the score. He won two of the first 3 rounds. I looked up the scorecards today. He had won 2 of the first 3 rounds,
Yeah, but they
and
were close rounds.
yeah, but he was gonna win that 4th round, and that was the official
Yeah,
scorecard.
yeah, but it was close. I mean, DDP whoops Joe Pfeiffer, in my opinion, but
Yeah, but I
I
don't know.
mean,
I don't know. I don't think
MMA
he didn't
math
look
doesn't always equal out.
he didn't look good. And then he did win that first round against Imavov. You know, he was looking good in that first round, and then he got caught very early in the second. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't. I hope I'm proven wrong. I really do. But I don't know. I just see Piper getting a submission win here.
Submission win, that's crazy.
Yeah, I think.
All right, let's get in our golden gooses.
Okay.
Who is your golden goose going to be this week, Connor?
My golden goose is gonna be the Juicy J Julian Erosa. I mean, he is like I said before, he's one of my favorite fighters. Loved watching him on The Ultimate Fighter back when he was on. Um, yeah, 5 of his last 6 fights ending in the first round. Great submission game. Love his awkward fight style. Fighting a guy making his UFC debut. He's a plus 235 underdog. You know, he probably will get knocked out, you know, but that's not going to stop me from picking him as my golden goose still. You know, I know that the 6 KO UFC losses, guys. I see him, but I also see 4 submission
7,
wins. I,
7 KO losses, 6 in the UFC. You're right.
that's right. Yeah, I said 6 in the UFC and 4 submission wins in the UFC, and I see 2 submission losses on this other guy's record, and that immediately, you know, and 5 total losses on his record. You know, 4. He's been finished 4 times, so he's very finishable. And Trina Rosa, 26 of his 31 wins in his career are finishes. 6 of his 9 in the UFC are finishes. Just won a round against Melky Costa, who just was the first guy to finish Dan Ige. I think Junior Rosa is getting better. I think he wins this fight. I think he wins a few more, and I think he's getting a title shot. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, give me Julian Rosa as my golden goose. This was a pretty easy one for me this week.
Yeah, for me, not so easy. It was going to be Izzy before. I must have been a lot of money coming in on Izzy, but
Yeah.
I may have to change this in the later in the week if the odds start to change. But I'm gonna go with Marcin Tybura. I
Oh,
really like him in this spot. He's the
all right.
underdog right now. It's close odds, but he's minus 105. But like I said, he beats guys he should beat, and Tyrell Fortune is definitely a guy he should beat. Coming in short notice, I feel like Marcin Tybura has been in a longer training camp, getting ready for the fight, but he beats big prospects, and he's gonna
That's
get the
true.
job done Saturday night, and he's gonna get a finish.
All right.
Give
Yeah, I like.
me Tabura by is my golden goose, and he's gonna get a finish.
I like it. All right.
But yeah, that's gonna be it for us today. We'll be back next week. We're gonna recap the Seattle card and then get you ready for Renato Moicano versus Chris
Chris.
Duncan
Oh my God. Yeah, that is. Oh wow. I forgot
next
that's like.
week.
Yeah, I totally forgot that's before the pay-per-view. But also check us out on 3 Punch Convo. We're on there. We'll be talking, interacting with you guys. Follow us on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all the socials, wherever you go. We upload everywhere. Uh just check us out, please. Support our content. We love you
Yeah.
guys.
Peace.
Peace.